What's happening, folks? Welcome back to Celtic Fans TV. It finished Celtic 0, Hibs 0 here today. I've got Lee with me to go over Lee. 2 drop points. I thought a poor performance on the day, really. We had chances in the first half, but just looking at the stats there before we came on, we've played 11 competitive games. That's the 4th. 0-0. How do you assess that one today?
I think I agree. First half, I thought we were comfortable. I thought we were creating some good chances. We probably should have been 1 or 2 up. But it kind of just fell by the wayside at half-time. We were expecting us to kick on a little bit. We were just chatting off about the subs that came on. There was no impact whatsoever, and usually you're relying on that. And Rodgers uses that a lot, makes a lot of changes, but there was nothing. Lacklustre, passing was really poor at times. It was just really hard watch in the second half. Really hard watch, but it's like I say, we're not scoring a lot of goals. We're not conceding, but there's something missing in that team across the midfield and up front at the moment. I'm okay with the defence where we are, but there's a lot of problems in that midfield and strike force at the moment, I think. So.
Yeah, absolutely. I think looking at the team today, there was a lot of changes. We wanted some freshness in midfield. We got it in terms of the personnel changes. Hatate came out, Nygren came out, McCowan and Engels got their start. Iheanacho did start through the middle for his first league start. On the right hand side, Dyson went out there. But we did create some chances in the first half, as you say, but I think that was an opportunity for the likes of McCowan, the likes of Engels, who haven't started many games this season, to show the manager why they should be in the team more often. I don't feel like any of them really grabbed that opportunity, did they?
We talked about it in the group chat that we've got earlier on today about they need a run of games or they need a chance to go in, and they had their opportunity today. Even when the subs came on, Johnny Kenny, 2 gilt-edged chances to really give himself a chance to play. But then you've mentioned he's coming in cold off not being in the Europa squad. It's hard, but I just think overall what I'm seeing, especially the second half, is the lack of quality. I don't know, O'Reilly left a long time ago, but Nygren's coming on. He's 1.5 million. You're looking for him to go and win you the game. It was all pretty simple and basic. Forrest is Forrest. He does what he can. He gave the ball away twice when he came on.
When he came on.
Yeah, there was just nothing that got me off my seat in the last 20, thinking I'm going to go on and win this. Hibs looked quite comfortable, and I thought, to be fair to Hibs, they defended really well. They got in some good blocks. They were organised. You could see them shuffling over. And I think when it gets to the 60-70 mark, and you look at what we brought on, sometimes we just look like we ran out of ideas. And Balakwisha came on. I mean, we've been looking at him for a year, and I know it's early on, but he looked nervous. He looked scared of getting the ball into feet, and it was a bit jangly. And I thought Engels was awful today, really, I have to say. I thought he was so poor. He looked scared to take the ball into feet as well. So many poor performances. I'd like to say, what a nice touches first half, McCowan, but not enough to say we deserve to win the game, really.
Iheanacho had chances. He hit the bar midway through the first half on the breakaway. A good ball over the top for Luke McCowan. Dyson Maeda, first time across the face of the goal. Iheanacho hits the bar. He had 1 or 2 other chances in the game. He puts the ball in the net. He's flagged offside. Yeah. I think the best chance of the game, arguably, was one that he just didn't get a touch on in the second half, where I think it's Taneki that gets to the byline, fires it across the face of goal, and he's basically standing on the goal line, but he's sliding in and he just doesn't get anything on it. So he did have chances, but do you think it was the right decision to bring him off in the game, given what we've got on the bench?
The boy was sitting beside me said, why did they bring him off? I would have kept him on. I don't think he looked like he was tiring. I mean, you can't tell, but he looks still pretty fresh, and he's a penalty box player, and he's got quality. Okay, he's not shown it today. He's coming in and out the cold as well, really. His finish on Wednesday was fantastic. So a bit of more luck and a bit more composure, he probably would have had a couple of days, but I would have kept him on. I just think Johnny Kenny offers us absolutely, even stature-wise when he comes on, to change the game. Maybe you're looking for somebody with a bit of height, but he just doesn't fill me with any confidence when he come on. And we've seen, a good striker puts that first header in the back of the net, and even the second one, you get it down and you get it in the corner away from the keeper, but just look like a lack of confidence. And it looked like a genuine lack of quality across the park, and too many players that are not at the top of their game. And we've seen it with Hatate, who's an injury today. It came out. Maeda still glimpses in the first half, but he's off that pace. McGregor, to me, today looks lacklustre. He doesn't look sharp just now. And then you're asking boys to come out the cold and give us a lift. So I think across the whole team, apart from the defence, I would say Carter Vickers and Scales handled everything pretty well today. Although I did think Vickers might have got a red. Where I looked, it looked pretty bad, but I'd have to see it again. But so everything else was fine. We're not conceding many goals, but It's going the other way. There, we're struggling.
Yeah.
We're struggling.
Yeah, absolutely. I think he probably should have left Iheanacho on certainly longer than he did, because I think when you look at the options on the bench, they are so limited. We've talked about the output. The subs already today. Forrest was disappointing. Balakwisha was disappointing. Negrin came on and underwhelmed as well. And we've got so little options in that forward area in terms of natural strikers. We've mentioned it already. Johnny Kenny comes on, but he's really come back in to the squad out of nowhere. He's not been playing, and no harm to the boy, but he's not really the answer for the situation that we're in, is he? He's never really proven that he can be a Celtic striker, and I think that goes back to the mess that the squad is in. We did bring in 2 other strikers in the summer, Shin Yamada, Callum Osmond. They're effectively B-team players. They're never in contention to play, and that does mean that when you're in a tight game like this, and maybe the ball's not went in the chances you've had in the first half, it's a tight game against one of the better teams in the league, you turn to the bench and what's there, it looks cobbled together. Even though we signed those 11 players in the summer, we're really lacking in quality and options there.
I think it said it all with the question that was asked at the press conference on Friday. Are we going, is it Yang and Forrest that you've got for the right? And then he talked about Maeda, and then he's obviously played him there today, and he did okay, but he's still not on form, and he's not a right winger. You can put him in there, but it goes back to obviously we talked about it enough with the lack of signings in that area. It's got to be a big thing for January. Same with the centre midfield, somebody to help McGregor, and a creative number 10, somebody that can. Because it got to a point where we ran out of ideas, I think, today. They were trying to thread little balls through, and Hibs just had the free. I thought Hanley marshalled the defence pretty well, and I mean, the keeper had a few saves, but second half we really offered little or nothing. We couldn't get by the men. They were doubling up well, but a lack of quality and a lack of quality on the bench is our downfall at the moment.
I think one of the concerns you'd have with the squad management and the sort of mess we're talking about, particularly in those forward areas, is this is where the games are starting thick and fast. We've got Europe again during the week, followed up by another domestic game, and that's really it. Apart from the international breaks, that's it from now until January. And you don't look at that squad with any confidence. Brendan Rodgers last season made a lot of changes, a lot of rotation between European games and league games, but it's really difficult to look at that squad just now and have confidence in the depth and the quality it's there.
I'd worry. This is a hard run now we've got. I know there's an international break coming up, maybe we can reset a little bit, but the Thursday to Sunday, and something about the Europa League, the Sunday always seems to be laboured. I don't think the crowd will be the numbers for Sunday. Then people won't travel on a Sunday as much, maybe from Ireland and things, so it'll be a bit flat. It was a bit flat at the start, obviously the protest as well, but it's on the onus is on the rest of the fans to lift the team as well, and I thought they did that eventually, but I'd worry we're going to have to just stick in and dig in, and it's not going to be pretty, I don't think, for the next 3 months, and we've got to just keep an eye on Hearts, because Hearts have won the day. They look comfortable in all respects. I think they won 3-0, so I know Falkirk are struggling at the moment, but they look like a team that are in good form. They've recruited quite well from what I can see. They've got players to come back, so we've got them coming up at the end of October. We need to get ourselves in order for that game, because Tynecastle, that'll be a tough place anyway, but if they're on form, we'll need to step up. But Europe for Thursday worries me. Braga are a decent outfit. They'll sit in, they'll counter, they'll probably be better than Hibs in terms of what they can offer up front. So, yeah, it's going to be a long road, I think, the next few months. Well,
it looks like it's going to be a slog, and that's what I was going to say. Could you argue that a result like today was maybe coming? You look at the domestic results so far, they've been okay, but the performance level just hasn't been there. We had a late winner against St Mirren, a last-minute winner at Kilmarnock. We had really, really poor performance at Ibrox in the 0-0 game. So it's not really surprising that we've got a result and an outcome.
Well,
today,
you reeled off the stats at the start, and it makes you think it was in the post, and you can only get away with it so many times. And Celtic, over the last couple of years, with the recruitment, with everything, it's like we're always just getting away with it. Even with some of the leagues that we've ended up winning by a country mile, but for periods of the season, just doing enough to get by. But I think it's catching up with us now, the state of the squad. Ending up with 2 left wingers. When Jota comes back, we've got 3 left wingers. I mean, it's horrific. So, yeah, they're going to have to sort themselves out. Rodgers as well, I think he needs to look at maybe, I'm not a coach, but maybe doing something a little bit different with the team, because it looks a bit stale. And when we get to that point in 70, 80 minutes, when we're passing the ball side back, I think the team they lose ideas and they lose identity, and I think that's what he's telling them to do, get the ball back, start again. But you can see the frustration in the crowd. I know a lot of English teams are looking at different formations now. The game is changing again. Maybe it's time for Rodgers to look at that, because I think his teams struggle when he doesn't get the recruitment in and it's freshened up. And you can see that in the team at the moment, and it's hurting us. And I know we've got some European games, but we've got to stick and make sure we're hanging in the league as well, because Hearts look capable at the moment. We've seen it last year with Aberdeen. Teams can fall away, but I think they've spent a good enough money to say that they're a threat. So we really need to just keep on our toes. But Thursday's going to be a huge night now.
Yeah, absolutely. There you go. Tough old slog today. If you want to hear us talk about this for another half an hour, jump over to the post-match pint, which I'll be on with Kenny. That's it for this video. Like it, comment with your own thoughts below. We'll see you very shortly. Thank you.